Well, hello Canada, hello Canadian readers. I am Aude Mermilliod, so a French comics author. I'm living in Lyon. A Woman's Voice, so it's an adaptation of the novel Le Cœur des Femmes in French of Martin Winckler. I made another book 2 years before called in French Il fallait que je vous le dise, I had to told you, about abortion. And initially I just wanted it to be autobiographical, but as I've read A Woman's Voice, the novel, while I was myself having an abortion, I've decided to contact Martin Winckler because I knew that he was pretty easily reachable and pretty generous of his time. And I was living in Montreal at this moment, and he as well. So I've contacted him, but it was just for him to write like, I don't know the word in English, but an annex, like at the end of the book. I wanted to have a doctor's eye on what I've lived, but during our interviews, he told me some really interesting piece of his journey as a doctor. So I've decided to give him half of the book. So he's one of the main characters also, and I tell in this book his story. And so we already have worked together. And while I was doing this book, as a complete coincidence, I've been reached by another editor to make a Woman's Voice. So initially I said no, because I was already making a book pretty close in the theme, in the topic. So I've said no, but I've reread the book because I've read it like 8 years ago or something. And I really asked myself, is an adaptation as a comics as a sense, or is it just like a good opportunity? And while I was rereading it, I really saw what I could do with it to make it new and to make a new art. So it's the story of Jean Atwood, and she's a young woman finishing her medicine school, and she wants to become a gynecologist surgeon. So basically no contact with the patients. She really wants just to cut and to be in the OR. In order to finish her study, she has to spend 6 months in a clinic. So only consultations with women, mostly about contraception, about potential abortions, about disease. So only contact, and she really is not happy about that. So she came with all what she has been told to do, and all she has seen as examples from her mentors, such as really being condescending. The man she will has to work with, Dr. Karma, he is the opposite of that. So it is really about kindness, about care, about listening to the patient, and having a lot of empathy. So at the beginning, she has a lot of resistance, but she's going to relearn what it is really, what it means to be a doctor. And in parallel, there is also her own story with her own love story, her own gender, her own body. So voilà. So this is a mix of these two things. There were two challenges for me. The first one was to find Jean's body, because Karma is a lot described in the novel, but absolutely not Jean. So it was really how can I picture her? So I really asked Martin Winckler some advices. I wanted to create a character who really suits him also. She's really androgynous. It's the only thing that we can picture while reading the novel. So voilà, it was a challenge to find her. I made her big ears because during the first half of the book, she's kind of always pissed off. And I wanted to make her not just be this grumpy woman at the beginning of the book. I wanted the readers to be touched by her immediately. So that was the trick I found. And the second challenge was during the book, it's practically always in a room of consultations. So there's usually the Dr. Karma, Jean, and patient. And it's a lot of dialogue, it's a lot of conversations. And drawing conversation like talking heads, it's really boring for me, but it's also really boring for the readers. So I had to find ways to describe what was happening in there, to make it fun, to make it playful, and to make it dynamic. So at each scene, it was really, okay, the sense of this consultation is that, how can I show that, but not just wide away and find metaphors, etc. And my process, I work on iPad, so it's all digital. I had to rewrite all the book because the book is, I think, 700 pages, so it's quite big. And you have all the descriptions off, obviously, because I draw, but still it was really long. So I really had to make some cuts. So it's really my choices. If someone else has done this adaptation, it would have been surely completely different. So I really tried to keep, to not being emotional too much for my choices, not being personal on my choices too much, and to really keep one patient by one topic, which I found really important, such as abortions, intersexuality, age, women with menopause, etc., etc. Now I'm working another time on a book autobiographical, but about sexuality. So how since my first period, since puberty until now, you are defining yourself and finding yourself on the journey of sexuality and all its good and bad aspects. I can completely define my work as a feminist, but it's funny because when my book about abortion was launched, there's a lot of people who told me that. For me, every of my books are feminist, even if the feminism is not the topic, because I hope that when I write fictions, it's still feminist with feminist characters. But it could have been just testifying about abortion. So it's really the society who made my work about abortion militant, because the society is not still at ease with that, or else it would just have been a testifying. And clearly a woman's voice is feminist, and it's not my work who is just feminist in that. It's clearly the novel who is, I think, who has been launched 13 years ago, so really in advance at this time, about the society issues in the medical area. And clearly we can call Martin Winckler feminist, no problem. So in France, the book is available in Canada and Belgium in any bookstore, I guess, and but in French language. And in English language, it's just digital with Europe Comics.